Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Black Girl Iowa podcast. I'm your host, Emily, and today is a really, really special episode. And I know I probably say that every week, and I definitely mean it, but this episode in particular is really near and dear to my heart. I am talking with two of my very good friends about sisterhood and the experiences that they had growing up together in Des Moines and how they motivated each other to really get them to where they are today. Before we get into the interview, though, I do want to go ahead and dedicate this episode to my own sister. My sister, Olivia, was amazing. We lost her, unfortunately, in 2016. She is someone that, first of all, the minute you met her, you didn't forget her. Olivia very much had, first of all, a beautiful smile. She had a kind heart. And as one of her friends told me, she definitely had that fuck around and find out attitude. But she was someone that really cared about her family and friends. And you could not, under any circumstance, challenge or really say anything bad about those three things in her life. Otherwise, again, she was absolutely going to let you have it. My sister, the things that I definitely want you guys to know about her as we go into this interview is first and foremost, I'm going to echo one of the things that her other friends told me about her is that she was incredibly proud. I think one of the number one things that Olivia was really proud of the fact that she was a graduate of North High School. She graduated from North back in 1999. She was very, very involved in her school. She was in choir. She was a part of National Honor Society. She was on the tennis team. She was on the pause dance team. I mean, and also she was a genius. Like the girl had a 4.0 GPA and she got a very, very high mark on her ACT. I honestly think she got like a 35. So not only was Olivia academically successful, but she had a lot of pride in where she went to school. And that's something that she definitely always carried with her. Another thing that I want you guys to know about my sister is that she had an incredibly big heart. You know, Olivia was definitely that person that if you needed something, even if it was just to talk to her at 2 a.m., she was definitely there. And she was always someone that wanted everyone around her to be doing well. And also, she wanted people to know that she supported them no matter what. And while me and her were 5 years apart, and we were sisters. So there were definitely times, right, where me and her did not get along or, we would fight and we would argue and, I hate you too, But I always tell people, and I even said this, I had the honor of giving her eulogy. And I said, me and Olivia, we were not best friends. We were sisters. And for as much as she would make me mad and as much as I would make her mad, at the end of the day, we had each other's backs no matter what. And um, I'll never forget the day that I found out that she was no longer here. I still feel that way. I'm completely devastated that my sister isn't here anymore. I feel like when you lose a sibling, you kind of lose a little piece of yourself as well. And I definitely did. But I feel like everything that I do now really speaks to the support that she had of me. Her courage is definitely what guides me every day. And my sister was someone that most definitely walked in her purpose. And she did that as a friend, she did that as a mother, she did that as a daughter, and she most definitely did that as a sister. So, this episode is dedicated in loving memory to my sister, Olivia Nicole Johnson. Sis, this past Saturday, you would have been 43 years old. I wish you were here. I wish we could have celebrated, but knowing that you're not, I wish, hope, and pray that you are watching over me. You are watching over our parents and your sons. And I hope we're making you proud. I really do. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into this wonderful interview that I had with two of probably the most dynamic women I have ever met in my life. And I'm so blessed and thankful to call them my friends. After the interview, I'll come back at the end to give you guys what my reflections are on the episode, and then also to give you a sneak peek into next week. So, here we go. All right, everyone. So at this time, I'd like to introduce our guest today. So the first thing you need to know is that they are sisters. The second thing you need to know is that they are dear friends of mine. And the third, on a good day, they both have at least 10 inches on me. I'm the shorty in the group. And that's okay. That's all right. Known as the Trumbo sisters, Dawniece and Dionne are the real-life examples of Black excellence. Both were born and raised in Des Moines. Both excelled in academics, and both were student body presidents during their senior years at Roosevelt High School. Both attended Iowa State University. Dawniece graduated in 2007 with a Bachelor of Science degree in marketing. Dionne graduated in 2009 with a Bachelor of Science degree in psychology and a Bachelor of Arts degree in Spanish. They also conquered grad school. Dawniece receiving her master's in 2009 from the University of Michigan in health management and policy, and receiving her master's in 2017 from Washington University, St. Louis, in occupational therapy. Now they are navigating careers, love, marriage, family, and sisterhood on opposite sides of the country, and I am so thrilled that we were able to come together for this conversation. So, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary friends, I'd like to welcome the Trumbo sisters, Dawniece and Dionne. So happy that 3 time zones, and we were able to get this together.
Yes, that's right.
3 time zones. As I said, and I mean, you guys, let's be real here. We've been on this call now for probably about a good 20 minutes. After figuring out lighting, I'm aesthetic for the room, and just really talking about just anything and everything, because we're all busy and we all have these really awesome things going on in our lives. You would think that it hasn't been years since we've all been in the same room, but it actually has been. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love y'all so much, because it could be 2 months or 10 years. And as soon as the 3 of us get together and then you bring in all the other girls in our friend group, you would think that we
pick up where we left
we pick
off.
up right where we left
right.
off. So I know I ran down kind of, so all of your guys' academic success and all of those things, but I want to go ahead and jump right into the conversation and talk to you guys about your experiences here in Iowa. So as I said, you guys are both born and raised here, educated within DMPS like I was. But it's different when you are going through adolescence by yourself versus when you have almost a carbon copy right next to you. And they look exactly alike.
We do, but we don't.
You do. I wish somebody would be like, obviously, you don't even look alike. Okay, Mr. Magoo, you were looking. So tell me about your guys' experience growing up and really how you guys really leaned on each other growing up in Des Moines, because you guys are from the South Side, right?
That's right. South
Yep.
Side.
Yeah.
I guess it's the southeast side now.
Still up in South Side. There we go.
Absolutely.
Outsiders.
Yes. So yeah, how did you
start?
guys?
Or you
Well,
can start.
I
It
think
doesn't matter.
Dawniece would start because it literally says Dawniece Trumbo, big sister.
I thought that. Did you do that?
I didn't even know
I
you
did
could
that.
put a title. So when we get off this call, I need to figure out how to do that. But yeah, Dawniece, we'll tee it up to you first.
Okay. So I think I'm on a delay, but that's fine. So basically, I mean, born and raised on the South Side. I'm the oldest of 3 girls. We were raised very close. I mean, I don't even think I went to anybody else's house that wasn't my family's until I was in high school. So it was really like we played together. We're in the yard together. Like we were one. Like all 3 of us were like one unit, and that's how we functioned for forever. Like while we were kids. I would say our family was pretty insular. So, like I said, there wasn't a lot of outside, like frivolous outside interruption at all. It was really us our mom and our stepdad. Like that was the core. And we had all of these things, like our stepdad, like a creative. So he was always, whether it's music, we all played instruments growing up, or whether it was art, or whether it was like doing Bible study. We were very religious growing up. I found that out from other people. I don't think I realized like how religious maybe we were. Some people were like, yeah, I remember coming to your house, you guys were doing Bible study. And I'm like, I guess we did that a lot.
She's
and
like, y'all didn't?
Yeah, I was like, I always feel like it was like my reality. I guess it's I found out more as an adult talking to people who, when we reflect back on, I just thought we were regular, but apparently not. Well, apparently we were kind of our own thing, and our grandparents lived like a couple, like
a mile away,
kind of a mile away. So we like ride our bikes to go see our grandparents. We like were really close to them. So yeah, like our world was like this small little area on the south side, and that is just like what we did the whole time. It was just like us. We like played games, watched movies, like really basic stuff. But like we were a working class household, like solidly working class. Both of our parents worked in manufacturing in some form or fashion, and that like I feel like I don't know. That's like the wide sweeping deal. What am I forgetting?
Yeah. So where we were on the south side, we were probably one, if not the only, like property owners, like Black property owners.
Yeah.
So we lived in a house, a single family home, and it was kind of like on a corner right in front of a trailer park, which at that time when we were growing up, it was predominantly white people who lived there in the trailer park. So like Dawniece was saying, like we were pretty insular, like we played together, like the girls all the time, and so we would experience some like I guess racial incidents sometimes in our neighborhood from people who may have been a little jealous that Black people owned homes and like they're in renting or in a trailer park where they feel they should have been in a home. So I guess like for us growing up, we got accustomed to that at a pretty young age, like I guess racism, but it didn't bother us because our stepdad did an amazing job of making sure we learned about Black history and African history. So I will definitely say like we grew up with a lot of self-pride in who we were and like Black pride, like we loved ourselves. We had no issue. And then I would say like I didn't really experience other younger Black people who had maybe like some self-acceptance issues until junior high school. And that's where I started seeing like, colorism and texturism come into play.
Right.
So for me, that was like a foreign concept. I'm like, don't y'all know we all like Black and beautiful on this melanin spectrum? Yeah, for me, I don't know. It bothered me because I'm like, okay, well, I guess other kids aren't like us. And like, other Black kids, maybe they weren't taught about like where they come from, where their people came from, and like the contributions your people have made, to society.
Right.
But so yeah, I feel like that was something that helped just instill like our confidence and pride, like going through many spaces where we were the only ones, like we were the token.
Yeah.
In our elementary school, I was either the only one, if not one of two, like Black, the Black kid in the class. I think it was the same for you too. In our
nope. I actually had there was like always there's like two of us in the classes.
Okay.
But I always say like for me it was more, what stood out more is the fact that I was tall. It like that was the bigger like people were more like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's like I was 6 foot by 8th grade. So I'm a giant child, person walking around and with no real self-awareness. So I'm like out here in high waters and I was like the oldest, so I'm the first one to go through it all. And I was like, everyone's so mean. This is miserable. Like I told you I was bald
high
headed.
school
Like
miserable.
Yeah, like I had a Jerry curl and I wanted to get my hair cut like Holly Berry.
Oh, yeah.
And I told her to
hold on. Now you need to say you did not have a Jerry curl. You had a wave nouveau, which is
not a wave.
worse. We had these in the late 90s. We all had my mom and my sister, we all had them like,
And
what?
grandparents, all
Yeah.
of us had the
Mhm.
curl.
Was
Like,
acceptable. It was acceptable for your
It really
grandparents to have
was.
one, but not
But
someone in junior
not a
high
child.
school.
No,
Not a child.
no,
No.
we was the
not
only
at
ones in
all.
junior high. But so, okay, no, that's not true though. Because when I first went to junior high, it was braids. I had small braids,
Mhm.
but I got some random girl. Like, I still remember she was like, "I hope you don't wear those braids to junior high. You're gonna get made fun of because those are really childish." And I was like,
Yeah.
That's
so then
weird.
I was like hung up over these braids, and then we went down a dark path of me getting a wave new and trying to get haircut like Holly Berry, and not
Yeah.
understanding why instead it looked like a
A
geometric shape.
mushroom.
It was
Not a
dry. It was
it
just
was
it
not
was a
It was
lot.
dry.
mushroom.
Not
It was
dry.
definitely a mushroom.
And see, couldn't nobody tell me about braids because that's just been my signature
Girl, we
for
Yep.
love your braids.
decades. Never changed.
I was like, hashtag never
Hashtag.
change.
But
Oh.
you both actually brought up something that I think is really interesting because when we like look at our friend group and we look at other Black people that grew up around, especially like when we did in those late 90s here in Des Moines, your experience on the South Side was so much different than mine, when in reality we lived like maybe 10 minutes away from each other. So my experience on the South Side was different in that I had an older sister, but Olivia was 5 years older than me, and we never went to school together. And
Oh,
my parents made sure that we never went to the same school. So like Olivia went to
Interesting.
Cattell, I went to South Union. Olivia went to Weeks, I went to Callanan. My parents didn't even want us to have the same teachers, and that was because they had so many brothers and sisters growing up. They were always in school with each other. You know what I mean? And
Ooh.
so
interesting. Mhm.
I think for you guys to have each other, and you guys were so close in age, and therefore if Tommy said something to Dion and Dawniece finds out about it, Tommy's gonna have to answer to Dawniece. As if Tommy says something about Emily, I just have to book it home so I don't get beat up in the interim. You know what I mean? My parents did the same thing. They made sure that we knew about our history and we were prideful and everything like that. But I think for me, I I had this like really great Black family and Black community within like my four walls and things like that.
Yeah.
But for me, going to school was miserable.
Mm,
And I
mhm.
was the only one. And I always just like felt, like I was by myself, and no shade to my parents. They did what they thought was right. And considering the fact that Olivia was a scrapper, that was actually the best thing Larry and Doretha probably could have done, because Olivia was short and mighty and she would fight. She would fight a lot. So not having that hang was a big deal. With you guys
Yeah.
touching on your family being the only Black owners and homeowners in your neighborhood. Tell me about how you guys had to kind of like band together when that type of racism would present itself, and what impact has that had on you guys as you have grown up?
You want to start? You
I,
want me to start?
dude, why don't you go ahead and start? Because I'm curious to see what your answer is to this.
Okay. Okay. Um. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the fact that we were taught a lot about and how Black people have been treated in this country and prepared for potential, racist, whatever attacks, whatever you want to call
Mm-hmm.
them, or incidents. So like when things like that would happen, so for example, I'll give you some examples of things that would happen to us.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, we're little girls, right? Three little girls, maybe like 5, 7, and
Yeah.
9, riding our bikes around the neighborhood, minding our own business. And you have
Mm-hmm.
like grown white men throwing bottles at us, calling us
Mm-hmm.
the N-word, making monkey noises, people vandalizing our house,
Mm-hmm.
like there's like some spray paint or something. Excuse me. Just stupid little incidents like that. So like when things like that would happen to us, we literally would just let it roll off our shoulders. It did not bother us. I mean, that's how I felt. Like it didn't really bother me because I was already prepared to know that, hey,
Right.
you could be treated this way, especially being in this neighborhood where you are the only ones. And I feel like my sisters, we all felt the same. It didn't really bother us. It didn't impact us. It didn't bother my
Right.
self-esteem at all. Like I know who I am. I'm proud of
Mm-hmm.
who I am.
Yeah.
You can call me whatever you want to call me. Like it doesn't bother me. So
Right.
it didn't really, but what it did, it was helpful to see like, okay, how people can really be, like how
Yes.
malicious and like evil certain people
Yeah.
are. Because like the thing that bothers me, like now as an adult especially, is the fact that these were grown men
Yes.
messing with little girls. I mean, little elementary, school aged girls. So like, who does that?
Yeah. Right.
But yeah,
And
no, go ahead.
yeah, no, I was just gonna say, and I think that really brings that uniqueness of girlhood for Black girls, and that those are some of the stories that are attached to our childhoods. And for some of us, I'm grateful that it didn't have that kind of like detrimental impact, because you guys were already taught what the world could really bring your way. And I think for a lot of the things that our parents went through, that's why we got that education at such a young age.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That
So,
is.
Dawniece.
Dawniece, did you want to add, or did Dionne hit the mark?
I mean, it's just really interesting. So I wanted to hear what Dionne had to say, because I guess we haven't really like explicitly like talked about, the growing ups. And it's funny because for me, I don't even remember half of things that happened. Like I know some things, like I know about something, I know about them, like taking a bat to our mailbox, egg in the front of the house, like stuff like that. But it just like, it wasn't a thing. Like Dionne said, just we talk about it, we laugh at it because it's pathetic, but like
Right.
it wasn't like, oh my god, my whole core's shaken. Like
Yeah.
no, it's kind of par for the course. I feel, you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
it felt, which I probably isn't good, but I just felt like it was par for the course, and
Because
things.
it's a more them problem. Like it's
Yeah.
your problem. It's not my problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
You're
not my
not
problem.
impacting
Like,
my life,
no,
right?
because at the end of the day, you guys are still 5, 7, and 9.
Mhm.
Like you
Right.
have all of this room to grow, and you had this grown ass man doing this. It's just like, how much more room do you have, my guy? Like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it doesn't go that way.
Again, pathetic. It's giving
Yeah.
pathetic. Like
Absolutely.
loser.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. So I want to change gears a little bit, and I really want to make sure that we dig into academic excellence. I always tell people, like when someone is just like, so, oh, Emily, like, do you still keep up with like friends who are in high school and things like that? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, absolutely. And then, I mean, I've told you guys this over the years. I rattle off about y'all. Like, I really do. Like, Dr. Wanaki yeah, she's amazing. Dionne, she's an occupational therapist. Like, come see her. Like all of these other things, right? And then they're like, well, Emily, what about you? What?
Emily, don't do that.
The most amazing person I know.
Thank
like,
you.
To sit at the lunch table, I got to take the photos, and I got to just be there. You know what I mean? But I really do want to stress, how dynamic you both have been in academics. I mean, I'm pretty sure you both were, top scholars in elementary and middle school. But considering the fact that I didn't get to know you guys until high school, I mean, the fact that you guys had such grace and understanding when it came to academics, and then the fact that you guys were social, and it wasn't, oh, I'm just going to run for, class president. Full what I want. You know what I mean? Like, and then, to go on and also be dynamic in college, and, what some of those academics was always in the forefront of everything you did during your school years.
Yeah. I would say it started early. So I always think about the push from our grandfather, and so basically if we could bring home straight A's, I feel like we used to get like, you could get like $100, something like that, which is a very great incentive. But then also just, so we realized, and I don't know how much of an impact it has on you, but like we knew from a young age that our grandfather is functionally illiterate. And so we started working for his company, doing the like accounts receivables. Yeah, accounts receivables, the books in general. Bookkeepers, when we were still in high school. So
after our grandmother passed. I was in junior high still.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was ninth grade. And so even before that, like Grandpa used to talk about, like he was so proud of us. You know, you girls are smart. Like keep doing really well. Like even like for our mom, it meant something for her to come to the school and have a parent teacher conference and be proud of us because she knows we're like doing a really good job. And so as we grew up, for me, it was always okay. If I can keep doing well in academics, I'll make my family proud. And then I also always saw like academics and going to college as the way out. And so there's like bumps in the road for sure when things were going on. But I'm grateful that I have like genetic, like, you know, like I got enough smarts to where even when I fell off, I still remember the having at Roosevelt. Like I was in their class. Yep. They were like, asked me one day, like Don, because I think I wrote an essay about how I wanted to go to Harvard. And they asked me like why I wasn't in the AP classes on that track, and I said I guess I just didn't do well enough in middle school. I hated middle school. That's a whole nother thing. But hated middle school. It's like I didn't do well enough, so they put me, you know, just in the regular track classes, and they were like, "We don't think you should be in this class. We think you should actually be on the AP track." And so because of them, they actually kind of readjusted my course. I ended up doing extra work and taking a test. And they were like, oh, yeah. And then from that point on, I was in the appropriate like track. Because I was like, of course, like gifted and talented kids. That's what I was in elementary. Middle school was awful. I fell apart. Got back to high school. First year was like, you know, regular, but then I got on the AP track again. And then from there, like continued on for like honors and things like that. But I also had friends who I still remember one of my best friends, Lachera, and then at the time, Tamika, we had like agreement. We were like this triad who were always trying to like outdo each other, like with our with our educational accolades. And she was going to Central Campus, and so like Central Campus was like above, and so
Well, now wait, hold on, wait. There's a difference. Central
okay.
Campus, Central Academy. Y'all went to Central Academy. I went to Central Campus.
I didn't go.
I was at TOA the whole time.
Yes, same.
Like Central Academy, like those were the smart kids.
Yeah.
It was like, we need a trade. We got to figure something out. Just in case college don't work out. That's why I went over there.
Oh my gosh.
But still, like I didn't take any AP classes in high school. They were like, nope, Emily, you stay the course. And you're gonna get that 3.0. That was the point. But no, I think you speaking about the influence though of your friends and you guys challenging each other that way, I think is really important, because when you see other people doing excellent things, then that definitely motivates you. And one thing that I've always felt, especially with how we grew up, where we are in Iowa, no one expects greatness out of us. And so that's why we really just have to kind of do it ourselves. Dionne, let me ask you. So your sister is Dawniece Trumbo, okay?
Yes.
So walking into high school and even college and grad school. Now, Dawniece said that she was competitive with her friends. Dionne, I know you. You are competitive.
So do I.
If ands or buts about it, I have seen, I mean, you're competitive to the point where it's like something very minimal. It's like, okay, so what's the game plan? What is our strategy? And it's like, we're playing Go Fish. There's no strategy.
No.
It was a few years ago, it's probably like 10, 12 years ago now, where we were at Dawniece's house when you lived near Cottage Grove, and we were playing Cards Against Humanity. The most random game ever. Dionne was in it to win it. Dionne won. It just happened. So, with that being said, Dionne, talk to me about, maybe was it motivation or was it competition with your sister?
Okay, I just want to clarify that
here we go.
No. The super competitive nature that comes out is typically around like a game. Okay, so my sister, I was always super proud, like so proud of her. It was 100% motivation. Like, and
I
my
love
sister's
that.
the type of person who she's going to bring everyone up with her. So
Mm-hmm.
she was always sure to make sure we knew about all of the different programs that were available to us. And I'd say this, like, a lot of my friends consider her like to be their big sisters as well, because she was like, so yeah, she was
My
so
hand is
helpful,
raised.
right? So through high school and no, middle school, high school, and college, like she always made sure we knew what was going on, like what we should join, like how to get involved with what program,
Mm-hmm.
so that it could help us, along the way. So I was
Mm-hmm.
always like completely motivated by how amazing she is. I'm like, oh, that girl's so smart.
Right.
That's my
Right.
sister. That's my
Yes.
genetics. Like,
Yeah, because I honestly think like when it was announced that Dawniece was student body president, I mean, definitely Dionne was the loudest screaming, but the rest of us were like, we know her. And she's not an upperclassman that like is like, oh, little people. No, it was like, I would literally remember going up to Dawnice's locker and talking with her and walking to class and being like, wow, man, wow. At the same time,
exactly.
like giving advice, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
making sure that like we were staying on top of stuff, she was definitely like the big sister. And I think that's another
Yeah.
thing about Black girlhood is that having those other girls, and just like what you said, Dion, that want to bring us with them
Hmm.
instead of, just leaving us behind. And I think that is incredibly important. Then and before we kind of get a little bit more into how you guys are staying connected through life, I want to talk about I mean, you guys have literally went through everything together, even college, right?
Yep.
Yep. Undergrad.
Undergrad, you guys went through undergrad together. So,
Yes.
tell me, do we have stories?
Story.
Because if we have stories,
Mm.
I would just say that, I mean, I stand by it. I did not. Dion was like really thinking about going to University of Iowa, like when she graduated high school.
I did
And
not know this.
I was devastated, and I don't even think I did it on purpose, but I definitely ended up trying to sabotage her trip when she went there to go visit. Like, I was
Wait, what
annoying because,
happened? I don't remember now. What?
dude, this is when we went for our on-site visit. I was already a cyclonate at University or Iowa
Oh
State.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And so I was drilling those people. They did not know their P's and Q's about how to answer questions about the campus. And I was like, Dion, you don't want to be in a place like this.
Oh,
Like, you should. Like,
well, damn.
You know what? It worked out for the best because I
It
made the right
did.
choice going to ISU. Like it
It
was an
did.
amazing experience for me. So
And listen, hey, Dawniece, you did a good job because listen, Dion went there, Chica went there, Liza went there,
John Tell went there.
went there, and hey, you were our tour guide when me and Liza visited as seniors. I didn't go, but you did a good job. Matter of fact, I just need to go ahead and run you a check.
They do.
You brought people in the
She
door.
was the hype man. Like yes.
The absolute hype man. Because I remember that trip that me and Liza took, and you're like, oh my god, it's so great here, and you can do this, and I still remember, and ice cream anytime you want. What word? That was the selling point. And Liza was like, man, I
And
feel
ice
like
cream.
yes. And then Liza was like, yeah, I'm at home here. I'm going. Emily, what about you? I can't do it. No, it's too big. I don't get anything done. Not at all. Not at all. Actually, fun fact that you guys probably don't know. I didn't start applying to college until like December of senior year. So,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
because I didn't know what I wanted to do and I didn't know where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, like everybody's going to like these big universities. And here I am, barely graduating high school. Like, what am I going to do? And then I ended up I went to Simpson, me and Brittany visited. And then we both got there and I was like, wow, like I really like it down here. And I had never been to Simpson before, even though my dad went there. And so that was my story. But yeah, man, if had I not went on that trip, I don't think I would have went on the path that I did. But again, thank you, Dawniece, because at least you let me know that Iowa State was not where I wanted to be. So, thank you. And I will also say for the record, before we get into these two staying connected, one of my bestest and fondest memories is Dionne's 18th birthday party. We're not going to talk about it.
If you know, you know. Like, if you know, you know.
That's definitely if you know, you know.
No. I might have photos. They are not on the
There are
network
photos.
cloud. There are actual photos. And all I need to say is a time was had.
By all. A time was had by all.
I mean,
Danielle
was
has photos. She has photo evidence.
Because that was back in the day where we had disposable cameras.
Right.
yeah, it was.
Time was
Oh my gosh.
had. A time was had.
Oh,
So moving on.
I mean, wow, that was a great night.
That was a fantastic night.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yep, that's it. That's all y'all need to know. Y'all, I know y'all gonna be in the comments like, oh my God, what happened? You don't need to know that.
You don't worry
People
about that.
If you know, you know.
Exactly. So moving on, I want to talk about, as you go, you've graduated from college now, and now you're in adulthood. I think one of the really awesome things about both of you is that when an opportunity presents itself, y'all go for it. Dionne found love, moved not only all over the country, but she moved to South Africa. Niece, you said, you know what? Des Moines ain't it. Where am I going to go? Literally threw a dart and ended up in Virginia. So as you guys are growing up, finding love, dating, going through, figuring out your past, your careers, grad school, all of those things, tell me how two sisters who were joined at the hip for so many years, what has it been like for you two to be apart but still staying connected?
Oh my gosh, me and Dionne had to get a divorce before she could even marry Tavanga. We were living together. I was like so devastated when they moved to St. Louis. Like I didn't even know what to do with myself. I was like, what am I gonna do now? I was so sad. But I think so even in undergrad, like Dionne did study abroad. She was in Spain for like a year, and I didn't. I like went to London for 2 weeks. Like I didn't know how to navigate that. That's also Dionne's excellent at like navigating particulars to be in a new country. I have no idea where to even start, but basically, like from that point on, I still remember I was like, okay, I got to go see Dionne. I'm going to go see her over Christmas. So I like flew over to Spain to go see her and didn't know how I was going to make it work. I had no budgeting skills, no planning, nothing. All I had was a credit card they gave me at 18 that they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And,
we all have that credit card.
We all have that
still.
Yep.
I was like, well, we can get over here. So me and Dionne were both trying to plan, and we did like a European trip, like on our own. From Spain to Italy to we were on trains. We got locked outside during New Year's Eve in Madrid.
And the subway, the metro station.
And got harassed, like so many things. So it was just, it doesn't matter, right? Like every time I'm like, okay, Dionne's here. And like, I know that I'm probably gonna be the only family that can get to her, right? Like at that time. So I'm like, and like, Emily, what you may not know is that like Dionne has been my baby since we're only 22 months apart, but like Dionne has been like my baby like since she was born. So like I used to speak on her behalf to her grandmother. Grandma would not
she would speak for me. Like
I'd make sure Dionne was good. So
I am Dionne's representative.
100%. 100%.
Pour frosted animal crackers, and ounces of milk.
That's funny. You just used animal crackers because like one of my grandma's favorite stories was Dawniece asking for a cookie for herself and also for Dee Dee. That's what my nickname was. Dee Dee.
I love that.
So
I love
Dee Dee
it.
wants a cookie too, and like my grandma would be like, "Well, if Dee Dee wants a cookie, she better ask for a cookie herself." You know,
Black grandparents, man.
And then she said,
"You need to speak for yourself."
Exactly. My grandma's like, it got quiet, and then this voice came out of nowhere. I can too talk.
Very
very
dramatic.
I love it.
Yes,
I love it.
This was my rep forever.
I love it. So, but Dawniece, you bring up a really good point. Like wherever going, I'm going. And so, I mean, Has there ever been a time where it's like we can't make it work? Or I mean, are you guys kind of like the standard sisters where you guys are talking multiple times a day? Like,
Okay,
does
let
it?
me take this
Oh,
one.
well,
Okay.
okay, yeah.
Yes,
Floor is
absolutely.
yours.
Okay,
She doesn't need a
okay.
representative, Dawniece.
I don't need
So,
the no. Okay, so first of all, Dawniece and I used to talk on the phone, FaceTime every freaking day, multiple times. Now I've had to be the one to step back now because she has her fiance, and I
Mhm.
can't be stepping on toes. So I try to give them time because like the 3 hour time difference from like Cali to Virginia, it's
It's
extreme.
so hard.
So
Yes.
right, so like I'll be like, okay, I know Maud right now is probably like in class, so I can call her. Or other
Yes.
times, okay, Maud's not in class, let me give them their space. So I
Right.
had to back down a little bit from all the FaceTimes. But no, we do like an excellent job just keeping and communication that way, and also through like sending copious amounts of reels through like
So many
Instagram,
reels.
Yeah. A
TikTok,
lot of reels.
the new age way to keep in contact with your friends
Yeah.
and family. Uh, and then also, we try to start like our own new traditions, like between our households. Like they'll come and visit us, we'll go and visit
Mhm.
them, like
Yeah.
coast to coast. Yeah. So we always try to. There's never any. Oh, I can't make it. Like we're gonna make this
Yeah.
work. Whether we
Yeah.
have to move dates around or someone's sick. Okay, that's fine. We'll replan. We'll reschedule because
Mhm.
we just know the importance in having that, especially since we're kind of our own family sometimes. Like we are
Mm-hmm.
holding up like the family, and
Mhm.
like that's also something that keeps us, I guess,
Trauma
close. Is
bonded.
like I was gonna
Yeah.
say that I don't want to say trauma bonded, but it's
Yeah.
true. We've had to deal with so many like different external like
Right.
stressors, and
Mhm.
crises that have nothing to do with us, but like family members. And so like
Yes.
we always joke and say like we're fixers, like we're be Olivia Pope and shit. Excuse me, I don't
Yeah.
know if you can cuss or not,
No,
but
you're fine.
constantly like right. So it's like we have all this shared experience now, trauma
Mhm.
bonded,
Yep.
and
Mm-hmm.
like no one else gets it, but she gets it. She knows, she understands.
Mhm.
Like she knows like what comes with like the potentially like physical and like mentally like all the tolls that your
Mhm.
body goes through dealing with this, like with close family members, right?
Right.
So it's just like this is a lot, like this ain't it. But having someone who shares like the same values as I do, and knowing like, hey, family is important. We know our family's not perfect, but we
Mhm.
still do what we can to help others and make sure they succeed where they
Yeah.
can, like our extended family and like our close
Right.
family members as well. Like we both are on the same page with that. Like yes, it's tiring, but like they can't do it, they don't know better, they gave us
Right.
the
Mm-hmm.
good, so let's try to help them get to the next level.
Mhm.
So yeah, again, it's nice to have like a partner in that.
Right. Yeah. And
Yes.
I think that is something that, you know, depending on how your relationships are with your sibling, that's just how do I want to say this? I am really happy that you guys really understand that now. As you guys both know, my sister passed away in 2016, and me and Olivia were 5 years apart. And at the time when she died, I hadn't seen her physically in 5 years. We would talk multiple times during the week. We would FaceTime. It wasn't reels back then, it was memes. That was the thing
Yep.
in 2016. It was memes and those bit strips, where you could get to create your little comic book character.
Oh
That
yeah, yeah.
that was really what we did. And it's really crazy how me and her had been through a lot because like we had grown up together. Not so I mean, maybe not so much like trauma bonding or anything like that, but like there were some hardships and there were some growing pains, growing up. And what you guys are talking about, I didn't realize until she was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I just remember for those first maybe 3-4 months that she was gone, it just felt like something was missing. Like I felt like I couldn't get comfortable,
Yeah.
And the piece that you said, Dionne, about the things that you go through and those things are what connect you. That's what it was. And it was almost like all of those little like inside jokes, those little secrets, the time when Olivia tried to reenact that scene from Kid and Play where he's vacuuming and he tried to he jumped over the vacuum. Olivia did it and then she sprained her ankle.
Oh,
Um
Dang.
You know what I mean? Like
yikes.
stuff like that. The time that we were in New York and her and my older cousin Brian showed me Child's Play and I freaked out and I ended up throwing this teddy bear and it hit ceiling fan and it busted and there's fuzz everywhere and everybody got in trouble, not because the teddy bear got shredded, but because they showed a 5-year-old child's play.
Child's play,
You know
right.
what I mean? Stuff like that, I can't giggle and laugh about with. You know what I mean? Granted, I have my memories, but sometimes it would be nice, you know, to do those things, you know. But I really think though that the importance of having your sibling, you know, especially if it's a sibling that you feel safe with and that you understand and they understand and there's a respect for boundaries and all of those things. When you have that with a sibling, I think it is something really special. You know, I've told you guys, I've always just admired your relationship. Granted, I used to always think, man, like, why can't me and Olivia be like that? And it's probably because our names were not Dionne and Dawniece. Probably because between the both of us, Olivia was 4'10", I'm 5'1". There's a few things that just weren't gonna make that happen, you know. But I really think that, you know, I really wanted this episode to really showcase your dynamic, how you guys make it work, and also how you guys were able to really support each other growing up in a city like ours, where, you know, Des Moines is home, but you know, Iowa Nice doesn't exactly extend to everybody. Exactly. Yeah. So, well, good. Well, I'm really happy though that we had this conversation, and just to kind of let you guys know a little bit of what is going on with these two. So, Dionne is living in Northern California with an adorable 5. Is he going to be 5 this year? 4.
He'll be 5 in December. Yeah, he's 4.5 already.
I got heartburn all of a sudden.
Time.
Oh my God. Yes. And her amazing husband, that if you need to sing at a wedding, if you need
to
sing, he'll do it.
America.
Yes.
She's
your
to
queen.
be.
Book him.
He got
Just
you.
Go ahead and set up that Cash App, sis, because I think he could get booked. And then Dawniece is getting married. So excited. So, you know, and I just think that with everything that you two are doing, you guys are amazing. And I really wanted to make sure that on this podcast, I gave you guys your flowers, because I mean, Lord, I'm not going to cry. Nope.
Don't cry. Don't you dare.
I'm a thug. I don't cry. I'll cry later. Like, fall down, slide against the wall. I'll do it later. I ain't doing it on this podcast, okay? Because I actually just recorded an episode with a friend, and we both started crying at the end. So,
oh my gosh.
I can't edit it out. I've tried. Yes, but anyway.
We did too much crying over this past weekend at the back.
Yes. What I will say is this, and I'm going to say this every time I have my nearest and dearest friends on the podcast. You two, I'm going to give you your flowers, because y'all saw me, this short, odd-looking brace girl, all those years ago, and y'all saw me for who I was. And I think damn it! It's
literally. I'm not looking at you because I cannot right now.
What I'm going to say is that the confidence that you guys had growing up and being proud of who you are and living into your full self and your full purpose, it definitely had an impact on me. And I am just so thankful that y'all have never asked me to be someone that I wasn't. Y'all have let me be, as boy crazy and ridiculous and laugh and funny. Dawniece, you're the reason why I got Ryan Kennedy's senior photos. He was like my crush, and I was like, I just wanted to see your photo, and she hand delivered it to me. Like, regardless, through life, y'all have supported my crazy. Y'all have been there for me during my highs, during my incredible lows, and I am just so blessed that y'all are in my life. And I am so happy that people are going to know how wonderful you are, and also the impact that you made on me. But just the love that you guys have as sisters is so beautiful. So
great. Goodness. You out here crying on this podcast, girl.
No, this was not expected. But like I said, I want to give you guys your flowers because I love y'all like sisters. So
We love
thank
you,
you.
Oh, we
Emily.
love you back, Emily. My goodness. Like, I am honored to be on your podcast. Like, I'm so happy for you and just watching you grow into like the woman you are today and really pursuing like your dreams and what you want for you. Like, I am so incredibly proud of you. And I hope you know that. Like, I never would judge you based off of any of those things you listed. And I don't believe any of that shit you said earlier about yourself. Like, you're an amazing, very beautiful person, both inside and out. So I mean, I'm over the moon, for you right now, and I just want the best for you. So continue to be great, sis.
Thank you.
What
I
Dionne said.
appreciate it. Oh,
Co-sign every part of it.
I
M.
love
John.
yes, my DJ name that y'all gave me all those years ago. I didn't even know it was gonna be a name, and then like I did radio in high school. What's your DJ name? M. John. Wait, what?
Jeez.
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
gosh.
Well, and I'm really excited for you guys. I also am expecting a recording of the Wobble because I know that's in going to be a rotation at Dawnie's wedding. Dionne is
Oh.
you know how like the whole thing just came out about like black jobs? There needs to be one wobble coordinator at weddings. That's Dionne's black job, 100%. So I cannot wait for the recording of that. And also I know we will all be doing the wobbling, getting back together here sometime in the future. So
Yes.
thank you so
Absolutely.
much, ladies, for
20 years
being
reunion.
yes. Dawniece, you coming?
20
I
years
know,
already.
right? I was like, you guys enjoy. It's too soon.
It's too
Don't
soon.
play because I would definitely show up.
Newlywed time.
Yes,
Like, yes.
absolutely. Yes. So Dionne, I will see you at our 20th. Dawniece, I cannot wait to see you in all of the glory of being the beautiful bride that I know
Yeah.
you're going to be. So
Nice
awesome.
dumb.
All right, yeah. So we're gonna take a short break. I'm gonna come back with my reflection and a sneak peek into the next episode. So I will be right back. Yeah, that conversation. Not only was it just fun to talk with Dawniece and Dionne, but I think it's really important that when you have friends, they are the type of friends that will fill your cup. And I will tell you, after having that conversation, I did cry a little bit more. But the other thing is that, we stayed on actually, and we probably talked for like another 30 minutes after that, after the interview. And, again, I think the biggest thing that I got out of that interview, aside from understanding how they created a bond and how they have grown up with one another. But I think the other thing that really stuck out to me about the conversation is how, as you change and you evolve over time, the people in your life do the same. And I think with the evolution of Dionne and Dawniece as they live their own lives, their sisterhood and what it means to be sisters between the two of them has evolved as well. And I really think it's beautiful that it's evolved into a place where they can continuously celebrate and love on each other and be there for each other. And I think that's beautiful. And I understand that not all sibling relationships are like that. But I love how theirs is. And I'm really happy that they had the time to come onto the show and talk about their relationship. The other thing that really stuck out to me about this episode is something that Dionne had mentioned about her sister, about Dawniece, and how, she was always wanting to bring people along with her. And I think that that's really important, especially now, especially as Black women. We know the space is limited for us, but at the same time, if we bring others along with us, there's plenty of space. There's plenty of room for everybody. The whole concept of gatekeeping and not wanting to share your success with others, I think within us is not something that we really take to, because we all want to be successful, and we all want to share in each other's success. And that was another piece of the interview that I really loved, and I really enjoyed talking about the laughs, as per usual. I mean, again, what you heard in that conversation is exactly how the three of us speak to one another, and how we have fun. But also when you bring in the other girls, other women that are in our friend group, that's exactly how it is. Again, the evolution of friendship and sisterhood, I feel like, was really prominent in this episode. And as I continue to understand what the relationship was like with me and my own sister, I think about those things. Again, me and Olivia didn't agree on everything, but I think being where I am now in life and she's not here, and I can actually really take the time and reminisce on our relationship, I'm really starting to realize that she definitely brought me along with her. She definitely shared in my success, and she celebrated my highs, and she was there for me and my lows. And I can say the same with her. I feel like it may have looked a little different, and that's okay, because not every sister relationship, not every sibling relationship is the same. So, again, a big thank you to Dawniece and Dionne for having that conversation, laughing with me, as you guys heard, crying with me. And as you also heard, that is not going to be the last episode uh, that I have tears on. As much as I like to say that I'm a thug, I'm actually a big crybaby, really, at the end of it all. So those are my reflections, though, on that episode. It was a fun one, and I really even enjoyed just listening to it over again. So I hope you all enjoyed it as well. On next week's episode, you guys, this one's going to be a really special one. So again, all of my episodes are special. Okay, I'm just going to say it. I don't care. But next week's episode, I am actually going to be talking with my friend Erica Bailey. Me and her have been friends since the 6th grade. So we will talk about, the evolution of our friendship and how we met and all those great things. Erica has had a very long and dynamic career in finance. So we are going to be talking about money and what it means, and really things that we could be doing to be smarter with our money. Now, there are no MLMs or get rich quick schemes or anything like that. I think the thing that you are all going to really love about that episode is that the ideas and the concepts that she will be talking about are all things that you can baby step your way to. It's not how to save $5,000 in 12 weeks. It's more of, how do I put a little aside now so I can have a little more later? That will be next week's episode. I'm very excited for you guys to listen. As for this week's episode, please make sure that, if you are listening to it, it is going to be available on Spotify. It'll be available on Amazon Music, and also on Apple Podcasts. Please make sure that you go follow me on all of those platforms, so that way you'll get notified of when new episodes pop up, as well as leave a rating. I want to know what you guys all think about the show. And then also there's going to be a question linked to this episode on Spotify. So make sure you guys go in, check out that question. Let me know what you guys think of this week's episode. And last but not least, if you want more Black Girl Iowa, head on over to my blog, www.blackgirliowa.com. Well, I'll have a new podcast recap up for how my first month went of podcasts and shows and all of those things. And if you have a question for this Black girl living in Iowa, please make sure you leave it. I really am hoping to get enough questions where I can answer those on a future episode. All right, everyone. Again, thank you so much. This is Emili with the Black Girl Iowa podcast signing off, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.